am your host, Alana Rizzo. I am pleased to be joined by Kyle Glazer, does a great job covering the San Diego Padres, among the other 29 teams, and Jack Somers, who does a tremendous job covering the Arizona Diamondbacks. We welcome you to the NL West Roundtable as we get set for the second half of the season. So let's start with you, Kyle. Great to be with you. Are the Dodgers, in your opinion, inevitable in terms of obviously making it to the postseason, but winning it again?
I don't know about winning it again, but winning this division and reaching the postseason, absolutely. The depth of talent the Dodgers have amassed goes beyond what any other team in baseball has. And I don't mean just the major league roster. I mean the entire organization. Let's be clear, the Dodgers had 14 pitchers on the IL at one point this season, including most of their best starters, most of their best relievers. And despite that, they've had the best record in the division pretty much the whole year, and one of the best records in baseball pretty much the whole year. If the Padres or Giants had 14 pitchers on the IL, their records would look like the Rockies. It's incredible what the Dodgers have done and how they've been able to withstand this, and they do it every year.
Jack, let me ask you about the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a team that obviously came into the 2025 season with high expectations, so much so that they spent more money this year on their payroll, on their roster, than they have any other year previous. They've been decimated more than anybody, I believe, with injuries. Are you pleased, I guess, with what they have, that they're even still in the mix?
I think that Torey Lovullo gets a lot of credit here for keeping this team fighting and in it. Unfortunately, the truth is that despite losing Corbin Burns and AJ Puck and Justin Martinez, they were not playing great baseball even before all those injuries went down. They were kind of underperforming a little bit. But then the injuries just kept rolling and got into the second and third tier of players. And it's looking like it's becoming too much to overcome, unfortunately.
Kyle, when you look at the San Diego Padres and what they need to do moving forward in terms of the second half, what needs to change in order for them to be legitimate competitors in that NL West to get to the postseason?
There's two key developments that have to happen with the offense. Let's be clear, the Padres pitching has been excellent, top 10 in pretty much every category in Major League Baseball. They're a great defensive team. They've been running the base as well. The problem is an offense that has been bottom 5 in baseball in virtually every category since May 15th. First and foremost, they need to get their stars going. Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill have been mired in terrible slumps for the better part of 2 months. They need them to snap out of it. Manny Machado's been doing his job. Luis Arias has mostly been doing his job, but they need the best versions of Tatis and Merrill for this offense to really get going again. The other part of it is the bottom of this lineup is just non-competitive. You look at the bottom 2 spots on any given night, they're basically automatic outs. And if anyone else has an off night, you're looking at 3 or 4 automatic outs in the lineup. Realistically, the Padres need to go out and acquire at least 2 everyday hitters, and they need to improve their bench as well, getting another bat to help there. So it's going to be two-pronged. This is not something where this offense is one player away or one player who's slumping, snapping out of it away. They need a lot of things to happen for this offense to even just be an average offense in Major League Baseball. This has been a truly terrible and unwatchable offense for the better part of 2 months now.
Jack, I feel that regardless of where the Padres are in the standings, I feel like AJ Preller, they could be 20 games out and AJ Preller is going to be making moves. I think it's a little bit different for the Arizona Diamondbacks because they're in a bit of a precarious situation. They're not definitely going to make the postseason, but they're certainly not out of it. Are the Diamondbacks buyers or sellers? And what are their biggest needs in terms of the deadline?
What General Manager Mike Hazen has been talking about is how many teams they're behind and how far back are they. He's not really pegging it to a wins total. The question is are there enough games left before he has to make the decision? And it's starting to appear that there aren't. So in order for him to become an aggressive buyer, this team needs to get on a very hot run and give him the opportunity to add to the team. If he can add to the team, certainly the bullpen, he needs to pick up a couple of strong relievers to be able to sustain a run late into the season. They could probably use a left-handed DH as well. Pavin Smith got off to a hot start, then slumped for over 2 months, and now he's on the injured list with an oblique injury. So they really could use a good left-handed DH as well. But they've had, a top 3, 4, 5 offense the entire year. So offense isn't the biggest need. They need pitching, and specifically bullpen.
I think every team, all 30 teams, could say that bullpen is a need. And guys, the Los Angeles Dodgers are no different when it comes to that. Coming into the season, Andrew Friedman, the president of baseball operations, was very clear that he wanted to make the biggest moves in the offseason. So at this trade deadline period, he did not have to really look for much. Of course, when you have $102 million on the IL, Tyler Glasnow back, of course, Blake Snell on his way back, you're kind of thinking about what are the needs for the Dodgers moving forward. And I think to Jack's point, with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Dodgers need bullpen help as well. You look at the fact that Blake Trinan, you're not certain when he's coming back. Evan Phillips is out. Obviously, Brusdar Graterol is not back yet. A couple of key pieces in that Dodgers bullpen are down. What does that mean for them? Do they go after a guy like Joe Kelly, who is chomping at the bit to come back for the Dodgers and certainly has pitched in big innings before for that team, as well as the Red Sox and the Cardinals as a starter? Do they go back and find somebody else to solidify what is a bullpen that's already very tired? Because the Los Angeles Dodgers and their starters have not gone deep into the game, and the bullpen is tired. So I think every single team, Kyle, needs that bullpen help. From your perspective, looking at what is the juggernaut in the NL West, for years in the past, obviously, for a decade, what are the Dodgers' biggest needs moving forward besides bullpen help?
I think you always look to the Dodgers to make a starting pitcher addition at the deadline. Even though they have all these great starters, we know that year in and year out, Andrew Friedman likes to fortify it for the stretch run. Last year, they went out and acquired Jack Flaherty. The year before, they went out and acquired Lance Lynn. Obviously, that one didn't work, but they still went out and got a notable pitcher. 2021, making the trade for Max Scherzer and Trey Turner. Just given the Dodgers' injury history with so many of their starters, we talk about Tyler Glasnow, we talk about Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki, obviously, we have no idea if he'll be back this year. Shohei Ohtani, you're ramping him up slowly. There's always going to be concerns about starting pitcher innings with this club. I would not be shocked at all if Andrew Friedman went out and acquired a starter at the deadline, because frankly, that's what they do pretty much every year, and there is a need for it this year, despite all the starting pitchers they signed.
Jack, what is it like from your perspective covering the Arizona Diamondbacks? Obviously, Jack Summers, the host of Snakes Territory here on the Foul Territory Network. Do the Diamondbacks still believe that they can compete with the Dodgers and the Padres, and to a certain extent, obviously, the Giants this season in the division with the way that the roster is right now and kind of the injuries that they're dealing with?
I don't think they believe that they have a shot at taking the division. They probably just don't have the horses. If they were speaking from their heart, of course, they're never going to openly or publicly state that until they're forced into a sell position. If we're looking at the trade deadline, the other point that we need to consider is that the Diamondbacks need controllable starting pitching going beyond 2025. So in their case, don't be surprised if they do kind of a buy-sell two-step. I would not be shocked if they moved a player or two, and it would give the appearance that they've given up on the season, while at the same time moving a prospect or two to bring in some controllable pitching and then see where it goes from there. They still have a shot at the wild card. So I would say that the time is running out for them to be buyers at the deadline, but it's still far too early to count them out for a shot at the postseason.
I know we don't have a Giants representative on this NL West roundtable, but let's talk about those San Francisco Giants. I think a lot of people maybe wrote them off, or I'm not certain, what they thought they were going to do this year, but they're in the mix of things, right? They're making it very interesting in the National League West. Rafael Devers making splashes in terms of news in our industry when the Boston Red Sox elected to trade him to San Francisco. Some say it was a salary dump, some say it was to get that personality out of the clubhouse. Kyle, do you think that so far Rafi has made the impact that the Giants have hoped that he would?
Not yet. He's not hitting for a ton of average. He's not hitting for a ton of power. But we see that players, when they get traded, especially in season, it can take a little bit of time to get acclimated. Again, he's new league, entire opposite side of the country, new teammates, new clubhouse, new coaches. It takes some time, just as we saw in New York. It took Juan Soto 2 full months to get going. It wouldn't shock me if it takes Rafael Devers around the same time period. Eventually, you expect him to pick it up. And I think if you're the Giants, you're really just waiting for Rafael Devers to get comfortable, get acclimated, and also Willy Adames to start hitting. If those two players start doing what they can offensively, I actually think the Giants are the team that's going to finish second in the division. Both the Giants and Padres have been struggling to score. Both have been bottom 5 offenses and runs scored for the better part of 2 months now. But it's easier to see how the Giants get better. It's just, okay, one or two players really start picking it up. They're actually getting decent production from a couple guys in their lineup. Whereas on the Padres side, you have to have about 5 different things happen. And it's just going to be very, very difficult. So I actually am more bullish on the Giants and their chances down the stretch than I am the Padres, because I do think Rafael Devers and Willy Adames will click it into gear sooner rather than later.
Jack, the Diamondbacks will face the San Francisco Giants 6 times in the month of September. They've always had good starting pitching. The Giants have. That is certainly the case this year. This team seems to be more legitimate than many had thought. What is your perspective from the outside looking in at what the Giants need and what makes them good?
Well, the Giants look like a team that obviously could use a little bit more offense. I'm not sure what Buster Posey is going to do there. I'm sure that they have their eye on their schedule. So I would expect them to be very aggressive going forward. They're not done adding.
And with you, Kyle, what if you look at the San Francisco Giants as well? It's so funny to me still hearing what Jack was just saying. Let's see what Buster Posey is going to do. What? I still imagine Buster Posey behind the plate, not president of baseball operations for the Giants. Are they as good as they seem to be, Kyle?
The pitching is as good as it seems to be. You look at what Logan Webb's been able to do at the front of the rotation, what Robbie Ray's been able to do at the front of the rotation. These are 2 pitchers that are Cy Young Award contenders at their peaks. Robbie Ray has a Cy Young Award. Logan Webb was a Cy Young runner-up. The bullpen has been lights out. Randy Rodriguez is excellent, but they have so many arms they can throw at you that are just really, really high-quality arms. Eric Miller is a lefty with real stuff. Camilo Doval can bring it any given night. This pitching staff is absolutely legit, and their defense is pretty solid too. When you look at having Adames and Chapman on the left side of the infield, in some ways they and the Padres mirror each other. Great pitching staffs, great bullpens. These are probably the 2 teams in baseball that actually don't need bullpen help. I could probably trade from the bullpen to go get some bats, but it's just going to come down to the offense and the stars clicking into gear. The Giants and Padres have the exact same problems, and it's just going to be a matter of does it happen or does it not, and we'll see.
Jack, do the Arizona Diamondbacks make the postseason in 2025?
I do not believe they do. There's just too much to overcome. I think that, ironically, just as their pitching actually has been improved of late this month in July, their offense is regressing to the mean a little bit. Just too many injuries, too much depth has been taken away from them. I don't think they're going to make it.
Kyle, how do the Padres make the postseason in 2025?
Everyone has to start hitting, and they need to bring in multiple bats. And realistically, I think it's hard to say right now with the way the Padres have been playing. Let's be clear. I talk about this 2-month stretch of the offense struggling. They're a below 500 team in that time. They got off to a 27-15 start, but since then, they've been an under 500 team. It's very, very hard to say right now that the Padres will make the postseason when you look at what so many other teams are doing, whether it's the Brewers, whether it's the Cardinals. Of course, the East with the Mets and the Phillies. One of them is going to take a wild card spot. There's about 5 different hitters that have to suddenly, after struggling all year, find it. And it's just hard to bet on that happening.
Jack, you brought up the point that the Dodgers and the Giants rather see each other many more times this season. Who wins the division in your opinion, the Dodgers or the Giants?
The smart money has to be on the Dodgers, of course. But if you're looking for maybe a little bit of a long shot bet, I think the Giants are a possibility for somebody to make a little bit of coin there.